Hey everybody, welcome to the live stream cello lesson. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bach Suite number 3, Allemande. Allemande is the second movement of the suite. So let's just get started. All right. So Allemande is going to be rather shorter than the prelude, but as usual, the Bach suite is going to follow a similar chord structure from the prelude. So first, let's just take a look at the very beginning here, and we're in 4/4, right? And right away, we're going to do a little bit. We're gonna do something different from. Sorry, not that. We're going to modify a little bit the bowing. So this is what I do. Like that. Up, up. I do up, up on the last 16th notes like that. And let's just make this first phrase yellow. And we're gonna go until here. So it'll sound like this. And be aware of the rhythm, right? We'll do it together. So it's going to be rather slow. Think of it in eighth notes instead of 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and like that. 1 dun 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 da 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 da. Right. So if it's easier to think in eighth notes. So count 8 beats, right? So it'll be like 4 E and 1, 2 and 3 and. So just count the subdivision. So let's think of this as our 16th note. So da 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 1 1 like that. We're just going to move to second position here. Second position, 4 2 1 1. Pretty straightforward, right? And the articulation is going to be a little bit staccato. Second position. And then let's keep on going. And then here we're going to same bowing, da 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 da. We're going to do the same bowing as the beginning. Slur the first 3 notes, and then the last 2 16th notes we're going to do up up. So like that, up 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 up. Comes out like this. So stay in, we're in first position, right? And then shift up to second position. And then trill should be on the B. Let's write that down. Let's see if there's a trill sign. Yes, there is. So the trill should be right here. And as I said, we shift to second position here for 2, 1. Two, 1. So, and then slur up those two. All right, let's go until there. So, just this part. So, up, 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 and then up. So that's kind of like the end of the yellow phrase. So let's mark that. And then it's going to go into something we're going to start doing a sequence. Let's do light blue. Let's see until where that goes. So here we're gonna maintain the bowing that's written. And then here we're gonna do how it's written. And then next bar, measure 3. So here, this is pretty cool actually. So that A, G, C, that actually spells out A minor 7. And it's actually the exact same voicing, the finger pattern as a minor 7th chord in jazz settings, right? So, right? And then, but Bach keeps it pretty straightforward, pretty diatonic in this case. And then here, he goes down one step down. And then like that, right? So he does mini sequences like this. And then the very last one, da 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 dun dun. The last sequence is slightly longer, right? And let's just write the fingerings down for the very last section. Because it's kind of a weird fingering. Two, 1, 4. Here it's pretty straightforward. We're gonna follow the da 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 dun up dun 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 da 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 up dun 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 here as well. Alright, so let's take a look at all these mini sequences, right? So the first sequence, the light blue sequence, we start like this. the next one is right, and then the next one we start down here on third position, extended third position, right? We're going to do that, and then for the F, we're going to go to the C string. So it's F, A, and then we're gonna shift to first finger on that B, like that. Go back. So that shift between A and B is a little bit tricky. But remember, it's only half step down from the third position, right? Sometimes some people have big enough hands and finger length to just simply stretch. If you're one of those people, you can do that, right? It's uncomfortable, but it comes in handy because that's also the distance of an octave, right? So if you're able to do that, I highly encourage you to try that out. If not, it's okay. Just shift, half step down, and then here we're gonna go up to D string, and then we're gonna maintain first position there. All right, so the reason why I say the light blue section is a sequence is if you just take the chords. So this is pretty awesome, I think, at least. Especially if you know jazz harmony and jazz theory, you realize where everything comes from. It's kind of strange how Bach has done it all. Hey, Caro. Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenos días. So here we do E minor, and then we go to A minor 7. Here, if we try and follow the so we start from E, and then it goes down whole step, D minor to G7, right? G dominant. It's dominant because it would be just a major, but because it has that minor 7 of the F natural, it forms a G dominant, which resolves to C major. C major to F major here. F major, right? So F, C major, G major, C. So that's basically the harmony that it's outlining. So it's really cool if you just play the chords. So that's the harmony that it's outlining, right? Very, very straightforward here. So if you're aware of that, A, D minor, G dominant, C, F, C, G, C. So that's gonna be the harmonic outline of that. And that's the very opening phrase of the Allemande. Let's just try and play the yellow and blue phrase. So I'll talk about this at the end of it. So 1 and 2 and no, sorry, 2E and 3E and 4. So that's gonna be the very first phrase, I would say. And then let's continue on. Let's do, what color should we do? Let's do purple. Purple. Da-da-da-da-dun. And from here, we're going to start modulating. So, fingering wise, let's quickly write down. We're going to stay in first position. Da-da. Da-da-da. 1. And then here we're going to shift. 1 to second position, 4, 2, 2, 3, 1. All right. Let's make a pause right here. So let's quickly look at the purple phrase, the first purple phrase. So it goes like this. We're here, we're at the purple phrase. Measure 5, F sharp is first finger. 2, and then G is going to be second finger, and then go down to first position, A, right? And then that chord, what we're going to do is break it into lower 2 notes and then upper 2 notes. So the lower 2 notes is just F sharp and A, it's an extension. Remember to bring your elbow up. And then the top 2 notes are just open. Like that. 1, and so since it's dotted 16th or dotted 8th, we have to count 3 16th notes, right? 1, E, and. Right, so 3, E, and 4. Like that. So measure 5 is like this. Like that. So, if you get too caught up, just find the A, tune with the open G or open D, right? And then try and tune the F sharp with the A. So try to be very comfortable with this position. Not the easiest position, but try and hold that position. If you're able to hold it for like, half note, you'll be stable enough to play this chord short and also but with good sound, right? So 3 16th notes, right? Da, da, da. time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna go to fourth position here. One. And then let's go until here. Sorry. Until here. Alright, so. You have an option of the pickup. And you can do separate. Or you can just slur all of that together. And it's really up to you. But here you will up, up. And then we're gonna come until here. Let's continue this sequence until. Let's continue the purple sequence until here. Because probably another section, right? Harmonically. Mainly because it's easier. I'm going to divide the phrase there because it's going to be another part that you're going to focus on practicing. So let's turn this into green here. Da, 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 ding, dum. And purple phrase will end there. So let's just quickly talk about this, these guys. So that, how to practice this part. So, I'll probably do a separate video about thirds and double stops, more in detail, with doing the scale routine and things like that, right? So, but here, how you need to practice is basically in groups of two. So first tune, try and tune your double stop. So C you can tune with open C. So what you need to do is, in order to get to D and F sharp, what we're going to do is shift half step up and then half step up like this. So half step up, half step up. And make sure you're playing the right note. D and then F sharp. Let's go back half step. And then half step down again. Make sure you tune it. So do that a couple of times. So what you're going to do is also bowing wise, shift while you're changing in between the bow. So play the first first double stop, slide into the second double stop, same thing. Go back down. So the idea of that is, as you're tuning each half step, your finger distance are shifting slightly, right? It's gonna be closing slightly, but you need to, it's very gradual. Right, so when you get the shifts with the half step down, now you're going to do the whole step shift. So try and listen out for the, right? Do very, very long glissando. Because you're gonna need to know the exact distance, right? Because so practice that distance. And then gradually you'll speed up, right? So that's one, right? So you're doing that 2 groups. And then the next 2 group here will be, oh, thank you. So the next 2 group will be like this. So if you have C, E to D, F sharp down, the next group will be F sharp, D, and then G, and E natural, right? Here is a little bit tricky because we have to do from closed position to open position, right? So E, G, E is going to be an extension. So how are we going to do that? So we're gonna break it into these motions. So we're gonna shift up half step like before. And then here from E flat, so we're playing E flat and G right now. From here, what we're going to do is, oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the super. I really do appreciate it. So here, so from E flat to G, what we're going to do is we're going to open up and do an extension. That is a little bit tricky. So try to relax your thumb. I'm not pressing my thumb in at all. Try to open up your fingers like this, right? You're just opening up your hands like that. So once you have, that's going to be the second motion. So let's do it from D and the F sharp again. Half step up, and then extension. Let's go back down. Close, half step down. One more time. So that's a little bit tricky. So once you have that down, right? You're going to connect the 2 motions together. Like that. And if your hand gets tired, just shake it out and relax. And if it starts to hurt, stop practicing the double stop section and move on to another section, right? So let's quickly write down the fingering. 4-1, 4-1. Thank you, Trang. And then we're gonna do 4-1, and it'll be extended, right? And then here, this is an easy one. F sharp will be 3, A will be open. So and then A and F sharp like that. F sharp, and then where is it? Here. From here, we're gonna do the same thing again, right? So same thing, we're gonna practice just a double stop. And here it's closed and then extend. A natural and C natural. So if you can see, I am floating my thumb. In an extension position, try never squeeze your thumb. Your thumb should be relaxed. Really, you're trying to you're pulling the cello towards you like this. You're instead of squeezing your thumb against, kind of pushing up don't push the neck into your finger. Rather do the opposite, right? Try to pull the neck towards you. You'll just feel more pressure from the cello coming into the chest area, right? So that's a good way to get a solid weight, solid connection in the left hand. So since this is close to open, what we have to do is shift half step and then open like that. So that's another difficult one, right? So C. So we're doing A flat C to A natural C. So you're really developing the strength and the flexibility in your hand. So if you're able to so it's really difficult, and it takes a long time. I understand it can be very frustrating, but trust me, this is probably one of the best exercises in getting your positions down. So right? So break it down into those 3 movements, and then we're gonna combine the 2. So combine the 2, and then we're gonna do the next 2 double stops, right? So A C to D and B. You can tune the D with open D, and then that B you can tune with the open G. So we have to get used to the motion from here to here, right? So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna shift half steps, right? Since it's the same position, or same open position, right? So A natural and C natural. Then it'll be B flat and D flat, or A sharp and C sharp, and then so try and tune very hard, carefully. Go back down. Yeah, so very small motions, right? You can see I even overextended a little bit more. So once you get those half step motions down, you're gonna do the whole step, right? And then after that will be, so the next one is kind of doing the opposite, right? So we're going from D, B to E and C. So what you have to do is half step up and then scoot your first finger up. So I'm doing everything all at once right now, but how I recommend you do it is practice just groups of 2 per day, maybe, right? Like a Monday, do, right? Just do those 2. On Tuesday, do, right? Just practice those 2 groups. On Wednesday, you can do, and then Thursday, and then Friday, right? So take time in practicing each of the double stop changes. That is probably gonna take a long time to get it right, because after that you have to do it without the glissando, right? So the reason why we did it with the glissando is you're practicing where your hand should stop, right? Because you're not moving just the fingers, you're actually moving the whole hand position and also opening up your fingers and things like that. So after you get you can do that. Maybe practice that, practicing the whole sequence slurred. After that, you should be able as you're playing the open strings, you're hopping, right? Or shifting. That's the idea of the double stop practicing. I highly recommend you practice like that. It's going to be very, very difficult. Take your time, and it'll be very tiring for your pinky as well. Double stops are always going to be difficult. So take your time learning that. And that's how I would practice it. That's how I practice it, actually. So just don't do the open strings for now, right? Just get the double stops clean and in tune. Being in tune is more important. Being in tune and also relaxing your thumb. And then after that, you're gonna add practice shifting in between the open strings shift, right? And I think that one's a little bit easier because you don't have to hold down the double stop like you do it when you're doing bow with the bow slurs, right? So that's how I would practice the double stop, that purple section. Be aware it's hard, but take time with it and you'll be fine. All right, let's move on to the green section. So the green section is the culmination, right? It's the very top of this phrase, of that, the ding ding. And then we come to that section, right? So from here, we're gonna do 3, 4, 1. So like this. What you're going to do is from the E and C, keep the C down and then just move to third finger. And then so that is a little bit difficult, but it's all in the bow. So your left hand, you're just going to hold down that chord, and then your bow arm is just gonna do that. So you can use your elbow to kind of bring the bow to the G string, or you can also push down your push down your bow into the with your finger, right? Just shift it down. That way you're not really doing the chicken wing mode. You're keeping it very local in terms of your hand and your elbow angle. So hold that chord until this one, and then I do 4, 1, extend it, and we are going to slur this. So 4, 1, 1, like that. 4, 1, 1, 3, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3. All right, so we're also playing a different sequence here. So the first sequence is this, right? And then the next sequence is da 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 dum bum 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 bum. So it's open D, 4, 1, 1, extended 2, 4, like that. G, B, C, 2, F sharp. 4, 2, 3. So I guess the sequence starts from here, right? But let's keep the chord. And then the next one. And then the next one, first position. 1, 4. Two, 1, and then a different sequence. So here, slur, and then D, G, B, and then open D, and then here, and we go into a different sequence here. So let me quickly write down the fingering. 4, 3, 4. we shift to 2 here, 2, 4. And let's change the color here to dark blue. All right. So measure 9 here. We go 4, and then slur. Oh, I guess I changed there. 2. We go to 2 there. All right, so 3. Up, and we end on the up here. So in this sequence, you want to emphasize the end. Instead of the beginning. I mean, I guess you can do that, but the traditional way that I've learned and what a lot of professionals play is accent the second. Like that. So, the green phrase, I think, ends there. Nada. Let's end it there, and then the blue phrase is going to start there. So, here it's pretty straightforward as far as the fingering goes. 1 open. 4, 2, 3, 1, 3. I guess that's a little bit different. So here, 4, 2, and then here, open G, B with the first finger, and then C will be 1, 1, right? Like that. So you can do, or you can do open 3, I guess. Like that. But I think 1, 1 is a little bit cleaner when you're doing it fast. So extension, and then crossover. 4, 2, 2, 4, 4, 2, 4, 3, 1. Yeah. 3, 4. And then here, da-da-dun, da-da-dun. Alright, so the only thing same thing here. We're doing slight sequences. Da 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 dun 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 da 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 dun dun dun. And then da dum. Da 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 da. So here, let me explain this little thing here. So essentially, you can end it there, but Bach basically kind of does a fake out. So that's gonna be the actual cadence, right? So musically, you gotta kind of think about it. Kind of not settle down too much on the. Or think of it kind of as an echo, kind of like an afterthought, right? You know how in letters you write the main letter and then at the end you write PS for something postscript, right? Or pede. Think of it like that, some little postscript at the very end, some little little thing after your final salutations, right? So it'll be like this. Postscript. Like that. All right. So that's going to be the first half. There's quite a bit of things to work on here. But take your time with it. Practice kind of like how we're doing here per phrases. And I think you'll be fine if you do that. All right. Let's just play through the first half just to see how it sounds like altogether. All right. Let's try it. So, as I said before, it's kind of like 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E, and that's gonna be the tempo and the beat that I'm going to be following. So it'll be like 4 E and 1. Normally you would repeat, but for now, I am going to keep on going. Let's see. So now that we're in the second half, let's put a different color. We're gonna do, let's do red. So the second half is as before. We're going to be starting to modulating and kind of changing, right? So here we're gonna start on the D. The reason why is we ended on G major, right? So we have to start with a G major, right? So here, this is the same bowing as the beginning. Da, 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 da. So like that. No, 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 do. Da, da, up, up. Forward, wait. We're doing this. No, 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 no. 2, 1, 3, 4. 4, 2. 2, 4, 2, 1, 1, open. So it's gonna be fourth position, first position, second position, and then here we're gonna change. One, 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 one. 1, 1, 2, 4, 2, 2, 1, 2. And here we're gonna separate this. No, 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 no. Like that. We're gonna separate that. Alright, so 1 extension, 4, 2, shift down. 2, third position, 3.5 position. G sharp, F sharp. Okay. Yeah, I won't talk about that. F natural, G sharp, F sharp, and then here 2, 1. We're gonna go to 2, 1. Da da 2, 1, 1. 2, 4, 1. One, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. 1, 4. 2, 1. Open 1, 2, 1. Open 4. Open 2. All right. Dun, 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 dun. We're gonna go to orange there. The red phrase will end there. So we ended here, right? And then we go to F. the second finger, and then open. And then F, the G sharp. Right? So here. So that's the red phrase right there. The reason why I put the red phrase until there is because here. Because the orange phrase ends there. So the orange phrase is kind of like the second half, we can say, of the red phrase. So here, 1, 2, open, 2, open, half position, 4, 2, 1, 4, 1. So this part is pretty straightforward. And then half position for that B, G sharp. Second position. And then we come up here. Da 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 dun dun da 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 dun. So here is 2, 1, open, 1, 2, extension 1. Alright, so measure 17. So 17, G sharp, A with second finger, and then C natural is going to be here, that extension, and then 2, 4, 2, 4, 4, 1, sharp, remember that's a sharp, and then A, 1, 1, open, like that. So, sorry, 1, 1. 1, 1, open. Same thing, you're gonna do 2 bottom 2, and then top. Alright, so the orange phrase is fairly straightforward, right? So that's gonna be the very beginning of our development section, the second half, right? And then from here, we kind of take a different shift to a different mood, I guess we can say. What color should we do here? Let's do a different color. Let's do what color should we do? We didn't do deep purple. Okay. Alright, let's do this. So this part looks like the ending of our first half, right? So this part is a little bit weird. Shift down to third position, second position, third position, like that. So let's go until here. Let's go until there. So three open, 1, 2, 4, 1, 1. So the purple, the deep purple, dark purple, shift down to here. And then here, C sharp with third finger, first position, until there. Yeah, so the reason why this part is a little bit tricky is because of all those jumping, right? But I think if I explain the harmony here a little bit, it'll be a bit easier. So here we go from A minor, right? A minor, and then here. From A minor we go to C dominant, which goes to F major, right? So F major. And then here we go to A dominant, right? So because it's C sharp, B, D minor. So that's why if you understand the harmony, all of those jumps become, it makes sense. It doesn't become too weird. So if you don't do the trill, right? So if you don't do the 16 or the 30-second notes, it sounds like this. So just be aware of all the different harmonic motion underneath all the different notes, and I think you'll be fine. And then here, we actually go back to a similar pattern as the green phrase. From there, right? So this little sequence up, shift, shift, And then here we do the pattern again. Right? You recognize that phrase? So this part is pretty straightforward. For 1, 2. That one is like this. Right? 3, 1, 4. Let's go until there. At least the green. And I guess, yeah, so. Not 3. 1, 4, 2. Open 2. 4, 2, 1, 2. So. So it kind of ends until there, right? Let's mark until there. But then it keeps on going. Like that. And then here, let's mark it yellow. But so it goes like shift to third position, first position. Same thing as the other section, right? Giving an emphasis on the last note, right? So the yellow phrase goes. Now that's the very, very beginning, right? And that's the very, very ending. So we come back to the final phrase is just like in the prelude. We repeat the very first section, right? Da, da, da. it's not the exact same as the very beginning, but the harmony and the idea is there. It's very condensed. It's kind of like a summary of what's happening, right? And then same thing, like a postscript. The very ending is kind of like an afterthought. All right, so if we take a look at from yellow, alrighty, so that's gonna be the second half. Let me play through the second half, and I want to talk a little bit about how to phrase Bach, because I think phrasing in Bach is a little bit difficult, because it seems like there's no rest and we just keep on going straight. But there is a way to you have to think of it kind of like a speech, right? You don't just keep on talking at the same pace, blah, 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 right? You kind of have a cadence in your speech. If there's a period in your sentence, you kind of take a pause. So I'm gonna talk a little bit of that kind of stuff. But first, let's play through the second half first. So second half, starting from the red phrase. Going the 1 E and that speed. 3 E and 4. So that's how the second half sounds like. Sorry about the page turn mishap. So now let's quickly talk about, I want to play the whole whole Allemande at the very end, but let me quickly talk about phrasing and things like that. So when you practice with a metronome, you want to practice very straightforward, but after you get the rhythmic feeling down, you have to start play. You have to not think about rhythm as much. You kind of have to. It's more singing than anything. Instead of counting da 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 da, you don't want to be like that. You want to be more like da dee dee ding ding da 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 da. Because even if you kind of sing it weirdly, like da 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 da, you know what I'm talking about, right? So, if you're able to kind of connect your ideas together, like you have to give a direction to what the note, where the notes are going. So one thing I want to talk about is how to start the phrase. So let's talk about, for example, just this. When you start you want to feel that downbeat first. So you want to feel that this is going to that F. So you want to feel that empty right? So you have to give it a direction instead of right. You have to feel that it's an anticipation, right? Da 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 dum. Right. So even if you just start directly from that C, feel that first beat. Because that's gonna give a phrasing direction. The reason why I say that is you can see the phrase length in Bach's suite is very strange. It doesn't fall metronomic or per measure. Like the first measure ends in the third beat of second measure, right? And then the second phrase starts on the last beat, right? So you have to think about all those different things, especially when the phrase starts as kind of like a anticipation. For example, here. So you can hold, but you when you start, you have to feel that it's coming from that very beginning, like dum, da da da, So your pulse in terms of where the beginning of a phrase is should be very clear, even if it doesn't start. So it really, that's the ending, right? So even when you practice, it really helps when you practice all these phrases separately, and starting separately too, right? So here also it's very important to highlight the different voicing, right? Right? So so those kind of lines, you have to bring it out to make it interesting. So that's one thing. So as far as phrasing goes, be very aware of the pickup notes. When you're playing the pickup notes, you have to either feel that the pickup note is going from something as a reaction to a beat, or it's going to something, right? As an anticipation of a beat. So I don't know if that made sense, but try and experiment with it, feeling the beat, and feeling and emphasizing how the phrasing goes. There's a lot of anticipated notes here. Right? So it's not. So even though you have to be aware of how the phrasing is structured, figure out where the downbeat of that phrase is. And it's not gonna be based on the measures and things like that. That's the very difficult part of Bach, is that the phrasing is very weird. It's like 2.5 bars long and things like that. So play around with it, experiment with it. I think if you play as different, if you play in phrases like how I did instead of per measure, I think you'll understand the structure of the piece, of this piece, a lot more. All right, so let's finally play through this movement all the way through from beginning, and let's call it a day for today after. All right, and let's see. I'm gonna play it the speed I play. I guess it's not too much faster. So. Three, and alrighty. So that's gonna be it for today. That's how I practice the Allemande. So if you have any questions about the piece or anything else in the movement, try to drop a comment and I'll try and respond as soon as possible. All right, well, so that's gonna be it for today. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you for all the super chats. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully next time I'm not I think I'm gonna do something different. There has been some requests for non-classical stuff, like so maybe I'll do one of those, something easy, and yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys later. Happy practicing. Bye.